So, here we go.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
You're listening to Midnight Movie Gang. This is episode 19.
Woo.
19 episodes.
It's a lot of episodes.
It's going strong. We're getting pretty good. Pretty good. People are listening.
Wow.
There's a steady. It's nice. It's nice. Some episodes more than others. The Saltburn episode's doing really well.
Hell yeah.
That's rising the ranks. Me and Joseph's Dog Soldiers episode is in. But a lot of the episodes with movies that I was really looking forward to talking about have like some of the lowest.
That's really funny.
Listenership, like the Bruce Lee episode and shit, but that's fine. Anyway, today we're primarily going to be talking about Poor Things.
Poor Things.
Poor Things. Yorgos Lanthimos' 2023. What's it? What is this? It doesn't even give it a genre here on Wikipedia. Is a film. I guess it's a black comedy. Or I don't know. That's how I feel like it's been described to me. Before we get into Poor Things, though, I just want a little brief, quick aside. Last night, I really love watching.
We did not introduce ourselves.
Oh, we didn't. Yeah. Sorry if this is your first episode. Sorry. Hi. My name is Elsie, and my pronouns are he, him.
I'm Courtney. My pronouns are they, them.
Rock and roll. Yeah. And for those of you who don't know what this podcast is, it's a podcast.
You really just wanted to jump right in.
Yeah, I did. No, I wanted to get into the meat. But this one's episode 19. I feel like if people are on board at this one. But for those of you who this is your first episode, yeah, this is a show where we primarily talk about kind of cult and genre film. Not really. We're not going to really be talking about Marvel on this show.
No.
As far as that type of stuff. But yeah, we've kind of the movie we're talking about today is one of the Best Picture nominees for the Oscars. Because the Oscars is happening next Sunday for us, and we've just kind of been making our way, kind of like ones that you kind of have interest in. We watched along with some stuff. I only have 2 movies left. I feel like as far as the ones you want to watch Zone of Interest.
Yeah.
Right? The Nazi one, and then
plus I have seen Killers of the Flower Moon, Barbie, obviously. I'm never seeing Oppenheimer.
I was about to ask if you wanted to try to watch it in chunks like we did with Tar.
I don't think I'm even interested.
Not even interested, just to argue with people about it?
No, because I already know it's trash.
Yeah. Wasn't that great.
Also, because unlike with Tar, with Oppenheimer, the whole cultural significance of the atomic bomb and the fact that it killed a bunch of people, I'm just not interested. Tar was a stupid movie in my mind as well, but it didn't have big cultural weight.
It wasn't really offensive,
right?
That much. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. Plus, I feel like Oppenheimer is getting way more praise than anything else. It's probably gonna sweep, but we'll see. We'll have our Oscars recap episode. We've been making our way through the Oscar Best Picture films. And Poor Things was on the list of Best Picture.
Yes.
This movie overall has gotten. I've heard way more people say they like this movie than not. We both very much did not.
Did not like it,
and we anticipated not liking it. Before we talk about Poor Things, though, I want to real quick. I love watching iconic movies with you, 'cause just seeing the cultural touchstones.
Because there's so many that I haven't seen.
Yeah. And last night we sat down and I made some pasta and we watched Taken, which I had not seen in years. It was your first time seeing it, and you were enthralled by it.
I thought it was I was interested. I was vibing with it.
Yeah. What I asked you it last night, but I want to ask you again. What were you expecting it to be like? What was the...
I had no idea there was an international element to Taken. So there was that. I don't know. I knew that... All I knew about the movie was the scene, the phone scene, where he's like, "I will kill you."
Which is a great scene.
It is a great scene. And I knew that his daughter gets taken, but I literally didn't know anything else. I didn't expect it to be as dark as it is, as it was, with the whole, the whole the way his daughter was taken, and then like the forced heroin usage and the forced prostitution. Like, I was like, oh my god, it was way darker than I thought it would be.
Yeah, a lot of dark themes along with the violence too. Like when he stabs the dude in the legs with the nails.
Oh my god, and electrocutes the man's kneecaps. That was crazy.
Yeah, fucking insane. This movie pretty much did cement Liam Neeson as like he's the ultimate badass.
Yeah.
Like, you just wouldn't want to fuck with him. I forget, what did you rate that movie on Letterboxd?
I think I rated it a 4.
4. Rock and roll.
4 stars.
Cool. Courtney recommends Taken. For those out there.
I just didn't take it. I didn't take it like hella seriously. You know, like I just took it for what it was on face value.
Yeah. You didn't really have any expectations going in.
Right. I was just along for the ride.
Yeah.
You know.
I guess we both expected, like, it's been a while since I'd seen it, and I forgot how like genuinely good it was. But we both kind of went in expecting to like make fun of it more.
I know.
You know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so on to Poor Things, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. This is the 4th film of his that I've seen. Oh, he's got a lot more than 4 though.
It's the first of his that I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen any of those.
So I've literally just seen his last 3. So I've seen The Lobster, which I'm not a fan of.
I did in preparation.
Oh.
I forgot to tell you this. Oh. I did watch a like TikTok like long form video that just explained every plot point of The Lobster. Mm-hmm. So
just like summarize the whole movie.
Yeah, so I didn't have to watch it because I knew I wouldn't like it.
Nice.
From what you had told me about it, and it's true. I would have hated it. So
yeah, it's that exact ick that you have about like people being forced into animals and like.
Yeah, I'm just not. I just don't think that this director is making movies for me. I don't think he's making movies for me.
Yeah, I mean, as far as
which is fine. Not every director has to make movies for me, but you know,
exactly. All of his movies do. So I of the ones I haven't seen here, I haven't seen Dogtooth, but I've heard a lot about it. I read the plot for it the other day, and it also has like weird sexual stuff in it. I'm going to spoil it for you and for the audience because I know you're not going to see it.
I'm never going to watch any of this man's movies besides Poor Things.
Audience spoiler for Dogtooth. Like Dogtooth it's got a lot of incest in it.
Oh my god!
Like a lot of sibling incest stuff in it.
I'm all set.
Yeah, so this man just loves like filming fucked up shit. But no, I feel like The Lobster was the first movie that like where I really started seeing him as a name. Killing of the Sacred Deer I genuinely like, because it's hard to explain what it is. Like, Killing of the Sacred Deer to me feels like art house Shyamalan. As far as like, I don't know, it's got a really creepy tone and creepy vibe, and even though it does have some of Yorgos Lanthimos' signature like fucked up scenes, but I forget if it has penis. They talk about penis. They certainly talk about it, but I don't know. It's more digestible. Of all of the movies I have seen of his, Killing of the Sacred Deer is the one that I could recommend to the most people.
Yeah,
because
that makes sense.
It doesn't. Oh, actually, in The Favorite as well. The Favorite also isn't like. The Favorite's actually was also pretty good. The Favorite was another movie where I didn't know that it was a gay movie. Like I saw the trailer for it and it just kind of looked like a weird like Victorian era drama type thing, and then I saw it and I was like, oh, gay.
Love.
Like Saltburn type of deal. Anyway, but
I love Saltburn.
With Poor Things.
Yes.
What's it about?
Yeah, so first I'm introducing my tea of the day.
Oh, yes, the teas.
I feel like you don't know how to run your podcast over there. I'm running it. I'm running it over here.
Me and Joseph have kind of been doing them at the end, doing the tea at the end.
Oh my god, I don't. No, I'm starting to run off the bat. We have the same tea today. We have strawberry mango black tea. It's the organic Good and Gather Target brand, and it's good. So you want me to summarize the plot?
Yeah. So like if somebody asked you what it was about.
So it's basically about this Willem Dafoe, who is a mad scientist, doctor guy, and he takes a pregnant woman who tried to commit suicide and like died. He takes her body and he cuts out the baby, and she is dead. when he has her.
Yeah, she throws herself off a bridge.
Yes,
in, like,
she's
the
dead.
opening.
And he cuts out the baby, and then he puts the baby's brain into her head, like brain swap, brain transplant.
A get out type situation.
Yeah, and then he keeps her and like kind of raises her, but mostly just keeps her in his mansion, and his name is Godwin.
Yeah.
And she calls him Daddy God, which I think is rough to listen
Baxter.
to over and over. But her name is Bella Baxter after this happens. And so she's like kind of raised, kind of not. There's a part where Willem Dafoe's character says to this like medical intern that he has working with him that like of course he has had sexual feelings about her, but like he's pushed that aside to be more paternal to her. Also, we get little tidbits from Godwin's character about he's got all these scars and stuff on him, and he like does weird shit because his dad was like a world-renowned doctor, which he is as well. And his dad did all these fucked up experiments on him on the way to be like a really great doctor. And there's a fan theory that Godwin's character is like Frankenstein's monster, which I think is a really cool theory. And I think if the movie hadn't gone in the weird like pedophilia direction, I would have liked it, because I think that is a cool idea to like focus on like Frankenstein replacing really taking the role of his creator and doing it to others
and having that cycle continue.
Right. Like I think that's interesting. But the medical intern wants to fuck Bella, of course. And what's the intern's name?
Max McCandles.
Max McCandles, yes. So Max McCandles is asked by Godwin, like, will you marry her? And he wants to. And she likes him, but the whole time she's a child and is acting like a child, but is in Emma Stone's body.
Likes him like a toddler.
Likes him like a toddler with a crush, right? Because she is a toddler.
Yeah.
And then he like tells her he wants to marry her, and she says yes, but like she wants to discover herself first. And she meets Mark Ruffalo's character, whose name is
Duncan Wedderburn.
Yeah. Duncan, and they go on like an international romp sex thing, and
lots of sex.
At some point he's basically a bitch. He sucks. I hate him.
He's the worst.
I hate all of the men in this. I actually hate every character except Bella. Because I can't hate her because she's a child. And then at some point she ends up prostituting, and she doesn't understand. At no point when sex is happening does she fully understand what is going on. Like the men around her act like she is consenting, but she's a child, so she can't consent. And she doesn't fully understand the societal implications of prostitution. Not that there's anything wrong with sex work when you're a grown adult, but she's not a grown adult. She's a toddler in a adult woman's body. And she eventually goes back to Max McCandles and Godwin. Godwin is on his deathbed towards the end. And she ends up with McCandles.
She does. She ends up marrying McCandles, but she also, there's the prostitute that she has a relationship with.
Yes.
Felicity, I think her name is?
Yes.
Nope. No? Not her, because I just looked at the actress, and that actress is white. The one I'm thinking of is black.
Is it Tanette?
I think so. 1 second. I will find out.
Okay. Yeah, there's like a prostitute that she has a relationship with as well. And at the end, she has married Max McCandles. She like is at the Godwin estate. She replaces Duncan's brain with the brain of a goat.
Not Duncan's brain, the brain of Vic. So when we get the reveal of what her like body's identity was.
Yes, I forgot about that.
It was really quick. Like
it was really quick.
And they introduced Vic. So her name before was Victoria, like with her.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Mother's brain, and Victoria was in a extremely toxic relationship with this man. I don't know his name on here. Is it? Oh fuck, I don't remember his name. But this man who's like a fucking psychopath.
Yeah, he's like a rich psychopath.
Yeah. And she replaces his brain with a goat.
Yes, it was him. Sorry, there were so many bad men in this movie that I just couldn't remember who was who.
Yeah, I feel like they introduce his character so late and he's on screen for so little that it really doesn't.
Right, like that whole plot point was like very fast. Yeah. My general impressions of this movie is that it didn't need to be made. I've seen a lot of discourse by cis men saying it's liberating. But I don't feel that way because the whole time, up until probably near the end, because she also ages rapidly. Mm-hmm. But up until like near the very end, she's not speaking or acting as if she has a coherent thought until the very end, where I think she is like 18-ish. Yeah, like you know. So before that, like all of this, like she has, I shouldn't say she has. Men have sex with her, knowing that she is, not an adult, like consenting person.
At the very least, knowing that like she might like not really having a clear, seeing that she is not mentally
able to consent,
at least in some capacity. Like something is amiss. Yeah, even if you don't know the baby brain thing, like you can tell like something is amiss with this woman. Maybe like she wouldn't be able to really consent, but the men who love it, and Mark Ruffalo's character fucking loves how quote unquote stupid she's acting, or like how like
how childlike,
infantile. Yeah,
right. And I think that the only way for this to be like a liberating movie about women's sexuality is, first of all, if it wasn't made by men, and also if the character was an actual adult woman, because she's not. And I feel like a lot of the praise that I've seen about this movie is just not acknowledging the pedophilia part. And I also understand the perspective of like, we're commenting about how this is what men want, but like they don't do anything with that commentary. Like it doesn't go a step further to be like, and that's bad. Like the movie just says, you know, men love children, basically women who act like children, and like men want women to be as young and as childlike as possible. But then the movie doesn't take it that step further to be like, and that's fucked up.
The biggest movie that I compare this movie to in my head, as far as like this concept actually taken to a better place, is Ex Machina. Yeah. And we've talked about a lot of the comparisons between this and Ex Machina, where like in Ex Machina, for those of you who don't know, it's about Oscar Isaac is this billionaire Jeff Bezos scientist who like makes this robot, this artificial intelligence that in the shape and form of a woman. And like Domhnall Gleeson's character is like his employee that like they're trying to test if she's a person. But she is flirting, or like she basically has like a romantic rapport with,
that's a good way to putting it.
Yeah, like with Domhnall Gleeson's character, and you think, and she wants to like escape, and like Oscar Isaac, he's terrible, this stuff. But then at the end, it's revealed that like
she tricks his ass.
She tricks his ass and leave him there because she's just trying to escape. Because at the end of the day, and the thing that I think, and we talked about this, the advantage that Ex Machina has versus something like this, where like Ex Machina, written by men, it's a movie. The director and the writer is a man.
Yeah.
The reason why I think it can be a successful successful in itself is because there aren't any women in that movie.
Right.
It's not a story about women. It's a story about how men view women.
Right. So the Ex Machina machine woman being a machine is a representation of how men see women, and like they're not trying to write her as a real human woman, which it leaves a lot more room for the metaphor. And also the fact that at the end she pulls a 180 and fucking destroys the place.
Yeah,
love
just
it.
Yeets. Like I was saying, like this movie, I might change my Letterboxd review to this. Poor Things is as if the robot in Ex Machina loved Oscar Isaac and viewed him as her father, and like ran away with and married Domhnall Gleeson. And I think another thing too is that we were talking about how like that character as well. I think some of the comparisons you can draw between the Ex Machina robot Ava, I think her name is, and Bella in this movie is that despite the fact that at the end of this movie and throughout Ex Machina, these characters are technically intelligent. Like, as far as like they have a very expansive vocabulary and they have a lot of information.
Yeah.
They're still children in the sense where they haven't had a whole lot of life experience.
Right.
Because I think at the end of the day, even at the end of this movie, when she like matures
and becomes a surgeon, quote unquote,
she still has been like technically alive for like what, like I think at the end it's a 6-month gap, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But, like,
and all of her experiences have been wildly confusing.
Yeah, exactly. Like she has not had enough experience to go throughout the world as an adult.
Her only relationships with other people in the entire movie are sexual.
Yeah.
She does not have a single friendship or a single platonic relationship in the entire movie. Yeah. And she only has one relationship with a woman, period. And it's not even a platonic friendship.
Yeah. It's
like, she literally does not learn anything about, like, interpersonal connection besides sex.
Yeah, it's a sexual relationship. The only characters in the movie where she doesn't would be I forget the characters' names, but the older woman she meets on the cruise that talks to her about philosophy, and the black man.
Yeah.
Who's like, I think is the one of two people of color in this movie, who tells her about the pores.
Right, but like that's also so brief.
Yeah, and even then she did have like I feel like they did insinuate some like sexual tension there with him as well. But and even then, the first thing she relates to when she meets that older woman is like, does this man give you the jumpies or whatever? Which that's another thing. She never calls sex in this movie.
Right, because she's a child and children don't know what sex is.
She calls it furious jumpies.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and like this movie is definitely, I would say that this movie is definitely an example of the trope of sexy born yesterday.
Yeah.
Some people have said that it's a subversion.
I don't see it subverted at all.
At all. I think that's exactly what it is.
I feel like there's a lot of people, namely cis men, who have never lived the experience of like being perceived as a woman or even identifying as a woman, saying that it's subverted, but I don't think it's their place to say it's subverted, because like this is just straightforwardly how women are treated in the world. Like, I did my time being identified as a woman, and that shit sucked.
Yeah. It's a whole thing where it's like, I watched a video the other day. I've been watching like a lot of just like content talking, like breaking down this movie, like praising it and giving it the proper dissection, and unpraising it, breaking it down. And there was this woman
critiquing.
And there's this woman creator who was defending the movie, and she was saying that younger people like Gen Z and lower are uncomfortable with this movie because she claims it's because Gen Z are uncomfortable with sex.
Disagree. Disagree.
And like topics of like taboo things, and I raise you a Saltburn.
Right. I mean, we are Gen Z, you and I are. I would say that we are of a generation that has been the most open about sex. Oh, like our generation is the most open about sex as any generation has ever been. I don't see that I don't see a fear or like taboo feeling about sex among my peers. And I just think that we don't like sex that's gross and non-consensual.
Exactly.
Because like, I don't know, every time I've seen a movie that is like Saltburn, there's a ton of sexual tension. There isn't even a full sex, like quote unquote sex scene. There's a couple of little sex scenes in that movie. Our generation loves that shit.
Yeah.
Like, that movie's great. And it's interesting to think about this movie, Poor Things versus Saltburn, because I don't want to hear anyone fucking say that Saltburn is gross, but say that this movie isn't.
Yeah.
Because that's just so it's so clear to me that between the two, like the only problem with Saltburn, besides I'm omitting the scene with Oliver and Farley. Because that's
on the line.
That was an iffy scene, and I don't feel great about that one. But all of the other scenes in that movie, there's nothing inherently disgusting about that movie.
There's no pedophilia.
No, it's just that people are uncomfortable with, first of all, a man going down on a woman, and also people are uncomfortable with gay people. And that's the only critique that anyone has raised against Saltburn in my mind. And that's just not good enough for me. Yeah. Like, if you're uncomfortable with having sex with women or having sex with men, like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I feel like if a lot of people I've talked to who defend Poor Things say that they defend, like, the sex scenes in this movie and the way that Bella having sex is portrayed in this movie as, like, they say that they're not trying to make the sex appealing, and I don't know. I fully disagree. Like, I think, like, I 100%, even regardless of, like, okay, when it comes to sex scenes in movies, you can either have it be like your intent is to elicit an arousal
right
in the movie, like it, and that's totally fine. Like, whether or not you want to call it porn or whatever, I don't think it's necessary. But, like, there is. You're making it sensual. Yeah, as long as it is, and you can have taboo is, like, so relative too, because, like,
right.
But pedophilia is just an area where pedophilia, bestiality, or areas
just fucking gross,
where, like, it crosses the line into, like, that is not healthy in any way.
No.
If you are going to make a movie about sex that is unhealthy like that, then it can't be portrayed. It cannot be made to elicit arousal from the audience.
Right.
And the example of movie I'm thinking about, me and Joseph have to watch at some point. It's called, we've talked about it a few times. It's called The Nymphomaniac, by Lars von Trier. And it's a movie about this woman who is a sex addict. And, like, it follows her entire life, like, from early childhood, like, up through movie. And the sex scenes in that movie are not filmed or executed in a way that, like, to elicit, like, arousal in the audience. Like, they're fucked up.
Yeah.
And it leads to, like, a lot of, like, fucked up things and, like, a lot of fucked up drama, and, like, they're not made to, like, arouse you. And if this movie, if this movie was trying to have that point where,
it
like,
failed.
It failed.
Yeah.
Because I think that, like, they are trying, like, they do wanna. They want film bros to pay money to see Emma Stone naked.
Right, like, that's the vibe.
It's literally the same thing they're doing with Florence Pugh and Oppenheimer, as far as, like, yeah, it's literally a selling point. Yeah. Where, like, men talk about, the movie's, like, really deep. Plus, you see Florence Pugh's tits.
Right.
Like, type of deal.
Yeah. There's stylistic ways you can film scenes like that you, like a sex scene that you don't want to be appealing, where it won't be appealing. And they just didn't do that with this movie. All of the sex scenes have the vibe of, this is a consensual to adult sex scene, like a normal to adult sex scene. Like, that's the vibe in the movie. And that's just not what it is. Yeah. And I can't look past it, personally.
Quick question. We talked about this movie I'm about to say a little bit in relation to this one. Does Shape of Water give you a similar kind of ick?
Gives me a little bit of an ick. Yeah.
Yeah, because it borders on, like, bestiality with that movie.
Well, yeah, that one's tough.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's like a fish, kinda, and I don't like that. But also, like, I think what bothers me more about that is the same thing that bothers me about this one, where he just doesn't have any normal human life experience, and so therefore can't make informed decisions about human life things.
That's fair.
Like, you can't, if you've never lived your life as a normal adult, I shouldn't say normal, but, like, if you've never lived your life as a human person, then I don't think that you have the ability to consent with another human person.
That's a good point, yeah. Because, like, in the sex, like, the closest thing that movie has to a sex, that's another thing too, is that, well, it's not really that gratuitous. Like, there's a good amount of nudity in that movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like the way sex is portrayed isn't as like gratuitous as it is in this movie.
I think that's partially to do with the fact that the quote unquote creature is a man versus if the Shape of Water creature was a quote unquote woman, we would have seen all kinds of scaly tits.
Splice.
Yeah.
Splice had some pretty saucy sex scenes too. Yeah.
Saucy.
Saucy is a strong word. I was thinking about the Splice creature definitely fits into the category as well with the sex, because the Splice creature is also like hyper intelligent and stuff, but is still a child because it's been alive for like a week.
Also, they were raising it like it was a child.
Yeah, like it was their child specifically.
Yeah.
Man, what a movie.
But yeah, I don't know. I just felt icky the whole time during this movie because I can't forget about the fact that she's not a human woman, like adult human woman. Mm-hmm. And so that was really tough for me.
Gotcha.
Also, the fact that they made a point to have Willem Dafoe's character say to Max, like, oh yeah, I have had sexual feelings about her, but I just put that aside to be more paternal because I can't have sex because of the experience my dad did to me. So, like, in the whole movie, the only, like, quote unquote normal relationship she really could have been him as a parent, mm-hmm. and they still made a point to say that he was attracted to her sexually. Mm-hmm. Like, they still made a point to be like, actually, it's like he's her daddy, not her dad.
If they cut specifically that scene out, it would have made me maybe not like, I don't know, it would have made me way less icked towards Willem Dafoe's character.
Same. Because then I could have been like, okay, well, he's like fucked up and stuff, and there's a lot about this that's fucked up. Like, you shouldn't take someone's body and do that to them, right? But also, I could have seen the paternal part, mm-hmm. and been like, okay, like, you care about her, but it's just so icky.
Maybe. You know, another thing I'm thinking about, there's a scene in Ex Machina where, like, Darnell Gleeson asks Oscar Isaac, like, why make the robot a woman? And Oscar Isaac's like, well, because it's fun.
Right.
You know, and I feel like you could ask the same question to Willem Dafoe, like, why not bring, like, a dead man back to life?
Right, because I'm sure there were plenty to pick from.
Yeah. Which he literally makes, like, another woman
That's
baby.
That's another part, too.
Yeah. He makes another woman baby who we don't get a lot of I think her name's Victoria or something.
No, that's Victoria's Emma Stone's character's original name.
Oh yeah, you're right. What the fuck is her name? I've seen her. I think Kitty. I just know that it's the girl from Maze Runner. It's the one girl from Maze Runner.
Oh, another point I wanted to make is about how the what's her name? Prim? I think her name is Prim. She's like the maid lady. Remember? She's
Miss
like
Prim.
Yes. Miss Prim is the first human woman that Bella's character ever sees, and Prim fucking hates her.
Yeah.
And I think that is also very purposeful, that you literally made the one woman in the movie hate her. Like, it was weird. It's a weird choice to be like, oh, also just like as a side, because that doesn't go anywhere. That doesn't develop into anything. Mm-hmm. Like, it's literally just, oh, you know how women hate each other, and it just feels weird. Like, why did you put that in there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because it doesn't make any sense to me why she hates her. There's no reason.
Yeah, no, it really just, and also, like, if she's been working for Willem Dafoe for so long, she would have known that, like, weird shit happens, or like she would have been adjusted to weird shit like that, because I think
and she doesn't hate the new one that Willem Dafoe's character makes,
because the new one isn't growing as fast mentally as Bella.
Oh my god. It's like the maid lady is like jealous of Bella. It's weird. It's creepy. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's a whole weird ass thing. You know, I wanted to ask, let's see, what else in the movie?
Here's my thing, is that I feel like I have no problem. Obviously, I'm very opinionated. You know this about me. I'm very politically opinionated. And I can put my own shit aside and watch a movie and have it be fun. Like Taken, right?
Mm-hmm.
I put all of my shit aside and just watched it and had a good time watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't expect me to do that when the movie is trying to make a point.
Yeah.
Specifically a political point. Because when that happens, I'm going to call it out for being wrong.
Yeah.
And that's like the case with this one.
Yeah. I've heard multiple men say that this movie is like men who disliked Barbie and said that it wasn't really feminist and said that this
Absolutely.
And said that
they're stupid.
This movie's actually feminist, what they say. And my God, what a misreading.
And the thing is, like, I loved Barbie. I will watch that movie all the time until I die. There are things about it that I think could have been better. There, especially with, like, you know, depictions of women of color. There was that kind of shitty joke about the smallpox blankets that had a lot of indigenous people rightfully upset. Like, there's a lot of things about it that I know are flawed and bad, but you cannot fucking compare Barbie to this goddamn movie.
Yeah. It's a hell of a comparison. I feel like, real quick, I've talked to some people about that. I feel like Barbie could have gone harder in some places.
Oh, yeah, it could have.
I kind of wish that they didn't, it wasn't the I kind of wish that it was like, they called it like a different doll name, like Dorothy the doll. And it's like, well, it's not Barbie, but it's pretty much about Barbie. Like, it's legally indistinguishable from Barbie. Kind of like how, what's it called? What the show that I watch with Seth MacFarlane, the Star Trek show, The Orville. Yeah. Where it's like, you can have it be basically Barbie, but because it's not Barbie, you can like go harder in the ways that like Mattel wouldn't want you to. But that's everything.
That's fair, but also like it being Barbie is like a uniting the generations kind of thing. Yeah. With it.
Absolutely. It was still very good.
Oh yeah, no, I love that movie.
Yeah, but you know, with
it's so funny the idea of a man being like, I know what's feminist. Like, yeah, cis man, tell me what's feminist.
Yeah. Is there so with Poor Things question. Was there anything you did like about this movie?
I liked the visuals. I thought some of the visuals were really cool. I did like the costumes. I think that I feel complicated. I think that Emma Stone did a really good job with her acting. I think she sold it to me really well. If she wins Best Actress
versus Lily Gladstone
for fucking depicting a goddamn baby, I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah. Let's see, what other Oscars is Poor Things nominated for? I know it's got
Lily Gladstone needs that Oscar. We are getting Lily Gladstone that Oscar.
Yeah, she definitely needs to win. Let's see. Mark Ruffalo is nominated for Poor Things.
Oh, he can fuck right off.
Yeah, Gosling's going to win that one for sure. Although I really wanted to go to Sterling K. Brown. We're looking at the Oscar nominations list now. I think Sterling K. Brown winning would be very cool. Yeah, also Emma Stone already has an Oscar. So
I kind of want Ryan Gosling to win because I think he'll call up Greta.
Yes, he absolutely would. That would be
because
cool.
he was pissed that he was the only one nominated individually.
For sure. What else? Animated feature film, Boy and the Heron, Spider-Man.
Boy and the Heron's gonna win.
Poor Things got nominated for cinematography. I could see it winning that.
They can fuck right off.
Costume design. Definitely want Killers of the Flower Moon.
Once again, if anything other than Killers of the Flower Moon wins for that.
The fact that, oh God, Poor Things, Yorgos Lanthimos nominated for directing, but not Greta Gerwig.
Not Greta Gerwig.
Yeah. Documentary, film editing, Poor Things. Yeah, no.
Was there anything about Poor Things that you appreciated?
Yeah, I honestly think, how do I put it? I think so.
Because I know plot wise, we just kept looking at each other the whole movie, being like, "Oh my God!"
The plot and the actual character writing itself was trash.
I agree.
No doubt about it, as far as like it missed the mark completely on its, and I find the movie offensive, but I think that I enjoyed more technical aspects of it than you did. And also, and I will say this, I think most if not all of the actual characters themselves are poorly written, but I do think pretty much all the performances are great.
Oh yeah, like I think that all of the performances are good for what they had.
I was thoroughly entertained by Mark Ruffalo was like a punk ass motherfucker, but he was doing
such a punk ass.
But he was doing a great job of it. I was very disappointed we didn't see his penis. We saw Emma Stone's whole body from every conceivable angle multiple times, but we didn't see Mark Ruffalo's dick once. But he was good. My favorite character in the movie, honestly, is Willem Dafoe.
Me too.
I just love how cracked he is.
So cracked.
Like he's like at the end, like I did heroin between all my toes in order to stand, and I did cocaine because I like cocaine.
Right.
Like honestly, I wouldn't mind like maybe like a spin-off or a prequel movie that could maybe just focus on him or something. Or like,
well, right. That's like what I was talking about earlier, where I wish it would have just been like a Frankenstein's monster focused film,
like Daughter of Frankenstein type deal or something.
Yeah, like something that would have been
something fun.
Fine, right?
Yeah.
Like, why do we have to do all this?
It's weird.
And I at certain points in the movie, you and I were just looking at each other, being like, "Another fucking sex scene again."
What do you think? What did you think of the music in this movie? Do you remember?
Yeah, it bothered. I don't like discordant tones. Like I don't like the like it's very weird to me.
It sounded like a very,
but I think it matched the vibe.
It did. It sounded like a record was melting as it was playing.
Yeah, it's like a broken music box.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to talk about the scene where she's prostituting and the man brings his sons to like take notes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That crazy.
I don't even know what that was about.
Yeah, no, that shit.
It was so brief too. Like it was like, what was the point of adding that?
Yeah, we get a little monologue of her sexual journeys.
Montage.
Yeah, montage. And I remember there's a scene where she's talking to the house mother head mistress woman.
Yeah.
Who also only desires sex from Emma Stone. She's like biting her and shit.
Yeah.
Basically tells her sometimes you just got to put up with it.
Fucking crazy.
Basically, and even if you don't like the guy, you know what? You need money, so
oh my god,
get to it. Yeah, no, just the whole scene of the exploits. But yeah, no, I mean, I think so. Yeah, I enjoyed the performances and the character. Like, I thought I was entertained by them, even though I think that substance wise wasn't really out there. And then the visuals were cool. I noticed as we were watching the movie, so the movie starts in black and white.
Yeah.
Like the first 20, 30 minutes are in black and white. And then I noticed that once we do get into color, the colors actually do kind of shift as the movie goes on. Where the first time that we get color, it's kind of like Technicolor, Wizard of there's really only three it's really just blue, red, and green, and all the colors are super bold.
Yeah.
And because the idea is
it's very vivid.
Yeah, because she's growing up and her her view of the world is getting more complex. So when she's in kind of a young child, maybe 5-6-year-old state. So the colors reflect kind of a simplistic view.
Right.
And the colors get more naturalistic as the movie goes on to reflect her state, which really cool idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, could have just done without the exploitation of it. Yeah, no, I'm trying to think anything else. I mean, this is kind of negative towards the movie. We were talking a little bit about how we felt like the world was kind of inconsistent.
Yeah. I have a hard time. This is something that isn't necessarily a movie fault, but it is something that I don't like in a movie just because of the way I am. I don't like it when I don't have clear movie rules. I was very confused trying to figure out a timeline, because the surgery stuff was giving pre-germ theory, because this man is doing surgery without gloves or nothing. He's raw dogging the fucking brains. And so it's giving pre-germ theory, but then later we have more technology, and I don't know, it just was weird to me. I didn't have a consistent, the universe didn't have consistent rules.
Yeah.
About what is and isn't possible.
Yeah. Definitely I agree with that. I feel like for me it was seeing the different technology when we kind of go outside. They have hovering vehicles or whatever.
It was like futuristic, but then in the past, but then I don't know.
I was saying that when she's like walking through the town, it looked like the opening level city from Spy Kids 3D. Like it looked all like lo-fi. And actually, wait, I want to find the specific Kids 3D town first level because you need to see exactly what first level. I'm googling it. First level. One's like I need to show you because it looks exactly like this. See?
Oh yeah.
It looks like that.
It does look like that.
I just looked up Spy Kids 3 first level. Like this is exactly what I thought of when she was walking through the town.
No, that is exactly what it looks like.
With the frogs on the pogo sticks. Cool. So I guess final thing of this movie. It's time to ask what prop would you want from this movie? Would you want to take with you? It could be a costume or a...
Do you have one?
Not yet. No, I'm just thinking about... There are a lot of cool... For me, I think there's some like fits that are pretty fire. Like I really like a lot of Bella's dresses.
Yeah. I would take any of her little like she has fits that are like little shorts within like big puff sleeve tops. Mm-hmm. I like that. I would take one of those.
Those are very good fits.
I'd wear one of those.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I kind of want maybe like Willem Dafoe's lab coat or something. I want. He has. Oh no, his pipe.
Absolutely.
He's like constantly hitting that pipe throughout the movie.
Absolutely.
You know, he's like fucking smoking in the theater. Or am I thinking about it different? Anyway, I want his pipe. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Overall, not great. I gave it 1.5 stars on Letterboxd.
I gave it half a star, which is the lowest rating I've ever given anything. The only other thing that I've rated a half star on Letterboxd is The Dark Knight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Down in the pits of hell.
Down in the pits of hell.
Yeah. I think the only reason this movie didn't... I think it's just because I'm a man. Like, it didn't hit me on that emotional... Like, it didn't emotionally hurt me.
Yeah.
But I think that if I was...
If you were an AFAB person...
Yeah.
It may have.
It would probably hit me to my core. I guess I was just... Yeah, I didn't have the lens to be able to, like... really like I feel like I was able to see everything wrong with it, but I wasn't able to feel it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just tired. It's tough out here to have a uterus.
Yeah,
like I'm tired
with movies like this. Yeah, so that's Midnight Movie Gang. It's 5:49 Night Movie Gang.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
we're gonna go to the craft store.
We're gonna go to the craft store. We're gonna get some food. What do you want for dinner?
I don't know.
I was thinking maybe Chipotle.
Chipotle sponsor us.
Chipotle sponsor us. Yerba Mate sponsor us.
Sponsor us.
Tea
brands.
Are we drinking Bigelow or the other one?
No, we're drinking Good and Gather. That's just a Target brand, but Bigelow sponsor us. I'm usually drinking Bigelow.
Yeah,
or Dynasty. I like Dynasty brand.
Dynasty's also pretty good. I feel like I'm kind of a Bigelow boy. Like
you are a Bigelow boy.
I like a lot of my Bigelow flavors.
I like Dynasty and Bigelow. Yep. Sponsor us.
Indeed. Next time you folks probably hear from Courtney is the Oscars episode.
Yeah.
And I want to do another episode with Rome.
Absolutely.
The Saltburn episode was really fun, and we had a lot of good...
It was really fun.
We'll figure out something for us to watch. Next episode's probably going to be me and Joseph talking about Dune. So we'll see how that goes. I
also want to do a silly little horror episode.
Silly little horror?
Yeah.
Is that
I just have a couple little horror movies I want to watch with you that may or may not be good. Ooh. That I think would be fun to review.
I'm excited. I can't wait to talk about them. Anyway, folks, that's Midnight Movie Gang.
Cool.
Have a nice night, y'all.
Bye.
So, here we go. The child expectations, the complexes, the police authorities for James Thomas. Alicia does a number of things with him, and her partner is the horrible murder of Walter. We grant everybody that I'm here to hold on. Oh, please tell me where they've gone. Please tell me. Sorry, I don't know. How long is it? How could I got in here? Please take us to Albany on 6 o'clock train tonight. What do you think? Special agent, special agent.